You know, usually the cold open is where we'll say something goofy and make you laugh, but just look at us. We're already goofy enough. Psychos and sickos unite for the PHNX Suns pregame edition of the NBA Cup. Of course, brought to you by our friends over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details. We're wearing our jammies because you all raised enough money for Big Brothers Big Sisters of America about 2 weeks ago, so we're all decked out. I'm Eric, that's Steven. We got Elfspo, Gil, and Ayrton, aka the Freckle Mamba behind the Mac. Making all of the magic happen as the Phoenix Suns look to do the impossible, something only one other team has done this season, and that is beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're going to be shorthanded to see if they can do it, but if there's anything we've seen from this team is that they're going to fight. How are we feeling going into the knockout rounds of the NBA Cup?
I'm feeling excited. We always talk about the Cup meaning more. Second crack at the defending champs. Gave them a good shot not that long ago, like week and a half ago, however long ago that was. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm genuinely excited, and I know that I've talked a lot of crap about the Cup, but I'm excited to see what they can do and see if they can shock the NBA world tonight and then keep it rolling in Vegas.
Yeah, this is a team that, and Dylan Brooks said it best, they fear no one.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's worn, again, individually and as a unit, regardless of if players are in or out of the lineup. This is probably the biggest test of that yet again tonight against this team.
Now, look, we'll get to the injury report here in a second, but I need to bring this up from Clemente Almanza, who covers the Oklahoma City Thunder. Apparently the script has been leaked for this NBA Cup game. This is a graphic being shown inside of OKC Stadium for the NBA Cup semifinals matchup on Saturday. It says the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Los Angeles Lakers in Vegas. Is this worrying? It's like now the second time that it looks like the script has been leaked against the Phoenix Suns.
You can suck it, NBA. We don't care about your script. We don't care if it's been written in some kind of document. It's written in the stars that the Suns compete no matter who they're facing. So you want the Lakers and OKC Thunder, you got to get through the Phoenix Suns first.
Just the way we pin that now, I hope that's pinned up on the bulletin board somewhere in the Suns locker room. It probably is. They got phones too, smartphones just like we do, so they've seen it. I'm sure that's going to be an extra motivation.
I just wonder if they were maybe rotating through graphics and then they were trying out the other ones too. But at the end of the day, the Suns still need to go out there and play tonight. We'll get to our predictions at the end, but they are going to be shorthanded. Let's go ahead and get into our injury report, of course, presented by our friends over at the Husband and Wife Law Team. If you've been in a serious accident or been injured, call the Husband and Wife Law Team first or check out their website in our show notes. Of course, big news coming down before the show. Devin Booker had been upgraded to questionable with a right groin strain. He was then downgraded to out earlier today. Isaiah Livers, Jalen Green also continue to be out for the Suns. As for the Thunder, Isaiah Joe out, Isaiah Hartenstein out, Nikola Topic out, and Thomas Sorber out. Of course, those top two have been playing in the rotation so far this season, but without Devin Booker, the Suns are going to have to take down one of the best teams in the NBA. And they had Devin Booker last time they played the Thunder, and they only lost by 4.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. We talk about guys who need to step up. Colin Gillespie's first person that comes to mind, thinking about keeping up with the Thunder's guard play. Obviously, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, reputation precedes himself. Now, Thunder are also shorthanded. They didn't have a Hartenstein last time as well, so I see potential advantage for the Suns there. But just thinking about what the Suns need to do, that blueprint that we've talked about, the guidelines, obviously it's more difficult without Devin Booker, but next man up mentality that we've seen over and over again, saw it on Monday, so why not again today?
Yeah, if they did it against Minnesota and they came through, I don't know why you couldn't find a way against OKC. Grayson's going to have to be a guy that refines his ability to hit from deep. But if they get that and they get what they got in Minnesota, I think there's a good chance that they can at least keep this close tonight.
Yeah, Grayson definitely has to be an impact player tonight. For players that have been available for the Suns this season, he's been the second best driver. And he's only been second because of the plays that Devin's been able to make off of the drives that he puts together and the attention that comes with that from a defense. So Grayson has to be in that bag. Obviously, to your point as well, the three-point shooting too. But I think the X factor for this game, and I think probably their most important player this season, is Mark Williams, because the position is the position, and there's no one that can replicate his impact on either side of the floor and just his presence in general, just being in between the lines. So this is a game where they're going to need him to be the best five on the floor, regardless of the cross-matching and things like that Oklahoma City will inevitably do again.
Last thing with Book before we move on, I'm glad that he's not playing, honestly. As much as it does give them a better chance to play with Devin Booker, it's a steep climb to beat a Thunder team with him and even fully healthy if they had Jalen Green back as well. It was feeling a little iffy about Devin Booker playing with a groin injury in December and only being out really for a week and a half. Didn't like that at all. Get healthy, get right. We'll see when the Suns play next. Obviously, depends on the result tonight. I wouldn't hate Jim just taking this week in general and just being 100% right before he gets back. And on that note, if you notice, a name not on the injury report, Dillon Brooks, who is not listed at all with left Achilles soreness, which he was dealing with on Monday against the Timberwolves. Of course, he toughed it out, played pretty well. Offensively left a little bit to be desired, but off the injury report. So that is good news that this is not a lingering issue for Brooks.
Yeah, the Booker thing, it was starting to remind me of, and Stephen, you and I talked about this before the show, that Christmas Day game that a couple years ago that he kind of got, fought his way back to get in and then got hurt and was gone for 5 weeks after that. Don't mess with it. Just make sure you're 100% healthy. I'm glad that he didn't push it, that the staff didn't push it, and they accepted, you know what, he's not ready, and even though this is a big game, there's bigger things that we're fighting for.
Yeah, for sure. And again, especially for someone like Devin that does a lot of lateral movement, something with a groin injury in that kind of middle section of your body, you're going to feel that with all of those types of quick type of decisive moves that you're doing to counterpunch against teams and things like that. So he needs to be 100 before he comes back on the floor, no different than Jalen. And I mean, hopefully the same with Dillon, but the fact that he wasn't on the report hopefully suggests that he's good. But yeah, you need your guys, especially your top guys, playing at full capacity if they're returning from injury.
Yeah, as much as we talk about the cup meaning more, it don't mean that much, right? Like, I would love to have Devin Booker at full strength, whether it's at the end of the month, whether it's beginning of January. Take your time getting back. This team has shown the ability to tread water and do better than just treading water without you. So get healthy and then get back on the court, and hopefully they can win without him, and maybe we'll have another conversation about this later in the cup.
Well, hopefully they can win, but how important is it? Devin Booker or no Devin Booker, it's still the NBA Cup. Let's go ahead and get to my most anticipated Suns must-win meter of the year, and you wonder why? Well, let me tell you why. Straight 10s across the board. Steven a 10, Espo a 10, Gil a 10, Ayrton a 10, and of course, I am a 10 as well, averaging out to our highest of the season. I love it, boys. This is what dreams are made of for a guy like me. We're all on 10 tonight.
Well, I mean, it's a tournament. You can't. It's a single elimination. You can't lose. It's a must-win, 100%.
Yeah, we broke the meter, maybe almost broke the meter. Like, listen, go out there, play. All eyes are on you. The only game going on, an isolated game window right now, playing against the defending champs. Go out there and get a win.
Yep, it's just that. Must win, got to have it. It's an elimination game. You win in advance, you lose, and you die out in the tournament. Let's see about it.
I'm actually shocked that you did a 10. I genuinely, because we don't have Devin Booker and Jalen Green, and you're playing the Thunder.
It's a tournament.
We did learn yesterday.
Yes,
single game elimination, right?
Going to be competitive.
He
I don't think we've still
serious.
found those rubber duckies that you threw, by the way.
Good, we shouldn't. They've been banished to the shadow realm.
I do actually want to remind people, I didn't mention this off of the top, because this is such an important game. We will be doing a watch-along. We found a way to get all 4 of us on the screen at once, so you can join the elf and all the other elves around here at PHNX Suns watching that game on this very channel right after the pregame show. So go ahead and check that out. And then, of course, we'll be back for a postgame show as well.
Come on, we got the casual context. We've got, what did I call you? The Crown Royale bottle here.
There we go. Shout out Crown Royale.
The super fan and Elspo.
There we go. Elfspo works a little too well.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than Anticlaus. Screw that guy. So.
And by the way, that hat, if you want to show off the hat a little bit, part of our new hat collection over at the Locker, new collab with Brandon Bills. So go check that out as well.
Two things real quick. Ashley, I'm not coming around. It is an in-season tournament, elimination game going forward. 2 and 2 together. The context is what it is, and also Jalen Tyson is entering the NFL draft. So, breaking news.
Wow, we were breaking news.
There you go. You see it connected after a minute.
Yeah, I was literally so confused. I was like, "What are you talking about?" Wow. Okay, that is we breaking news. But let's handle that later. Steven, not breaking news though. The Suns are going to need to do a couple of different things to beat the Thunder tonight. What are your keys to the game?
Yeah, this is needless to say, a big game. This is a big process game, and that process grows even more profound in a needed fashion when you're operating with so many different injuries. So you start with key number one. You need to win the turnover margin, but in tandem with that, you also have to take care of the basketball. Another game where they had close to, if not more than 20 turnovers last time out against Oklahoma City. That's not something that's feasible in terms of trying to compete and contend with this team, especially with the heightened urgency of an in-season tournament game. So force your turnovers. You're number 2 to their number 1 in terms of turnover rate forced to opponents. So you want to win that margin. That's going to be a big indicator of where they're at with this game in terms of execution. Key number 2, you want to go get paint touches. When this Suns team is at their best, the ball is moving, but it's not just swing, swing, swing. It's a swing and then a paint touch and then a swing and then another paint touch. Now the defense is in dismay, and now someone's getting a wide open catch and shoot 3 opportunity or a closeout to attack. So you want to have your process flowing. And then the last one for me, your point of attack pressure is as important as anything. The Suns have been one of the best teams in the league with defending drives. This is one of the best driving teams, and they have one of the best drivers that the game has ever seen in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Defend without fouling. Make sure you're containing the ball so that your help doesn't have to be engaged. And if your help doesn't have to be engaged, now you can play the scheme, send random double teams, stay on schedule with your rotations on kickouts, stay solid.
100%. Can't be overly aggressive to the point where you're getting fouls that are dumb fouls, right? Yep. We talked about it yesterday. If you're doing that, you're playing right in to the Thunder's hands and especially SGA's hands there. You're going to get called for fouls, but don't make it easy on them to call those fouls.
Mercury coach Michael Joyner, assistant coach Michael Joyner, called it intelligent aggression during W season. So,
yeah, I like that intelligent aggression in that. I mean, we see the Thunder play with it, and they might have a little bit of
leeway.
A little bit of leeway. That's a good word.
The book is out on there.
You say the book is out. They definitely get a little more flexibility and freedom. But like to your point, taking care of the ball is going to be really important because of that reason. Last game, they were super aggressive in the passing lanes and on the ball, especially to start the game. And we know Oklahoma City hasn't lost at home since game 1 of the finals. And that took a lot. So the reason is they get out on the open floor, they score, it gets really loud in there. So if you can limit turnovers, you limit those possessions and limit the crowd getting into it as much as they can.
It's called a spade a spade. The Suns are going to have to play pretty much a perfect game to beat OKC tonight. Sure. Even if Devin Booker was playing, even if Jalen Green was playing, this is shaping up to be not just the best team in the NBA this season, possibly one of the best teams we've seen ever, and maybe even the best team we've seen in the last decade or so, which says a lot considering some of the greatness that we have seen.
And they got picks.
And they, by the way, top 3 chance of the number 1 pick in this upcoming NBA draft. But we can
which
worry
means
about
they could trade for Giannis if they wanted to.
They totally could trade for Giannis. I don't even know if they need to, though. And when you look at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I was talking to Ayrton about this before the show. I saw a graph about people who are in percentiles for defense, scoring, and passing. There is only one guy who is in the 90th plus percentile in all 3 categories, and it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's in the 100th percentile in scoring, the 98th percentile in passing, and the 95th percentile in defense. Yeah. I mean, we are talking about genuinely one of the greatest players to ever step on a basketball court, and the scary part is this team was blowing out teams without him. It is going to be a brutal, brutal task for you to even keep this game close, let alone win tonight.
He's a 99 in special teams, like everything. He's
all 3 phases. No, it's funny. The thing about him defensively is because the defenders around him are so good, we lose sight of how good of a defender he is. Like, he got votes to be all defense last year, and it's just like he's next to all world defenders, and the fact that he's like probably like all North America defense, he just doesn't look that good because he's got all world guys beside him that, again, have a little leeway. But he gets some of that too, and you see the aggression which he plays with, and his instincts defensively are impressive if you really key in and watch that.
Yeah, teams are matchup hunting, but when it comes to someone like I was gonna say Steph, but Steph is included in this. He's not a bad defender. Teams go at them because they don't want them to be relaxing on one end, so that they can hopefully eat away at their legs and have that wear down effect over the course of games. So the Suns will need to be a little more nuanced with their approach. You don't want him to be fresh, but I think they have a steady enough game plan in which we saw just over a week ago last time they went against him.
Do they take the same approach that they did with Luka, that they did with Ant, and go kind of let him get his? Is that what we're gonna see? Because it seemed to rattle Luka, it seemed to rattle Ant. Could you do that with SGA?
I think what's different with Shea versus Luka and Ant is those two are prolific pull-up shooters. So the coverages have to be a little more aggressive in terms of extra defenders to account for that, especially if he's in pick and roll. But if it's one-on-one, you playing for the drive. And what made them champions last year was his ability to, like I mentioned in postgame last time, it's a counterpunch. You want to take away my drives, here's a step-back three. Here's a step-back midi. Didn't have that in his bag before last season. Coming into it, he showed it early on. And in the playoffs, it came to the forefront. It's something that he didn't just go to as a counterpunch. He started to dictate with it. And that's what made him go from a really good guy to an MVP and taking away all the jewelry last season.
Yeah, his performance last game, was really interesting because he did seem to be like a little worn down. He missed a couple like uncharacteristic bunnies. Ended up with 8 assists as well. So it's just a guy. It's like, I won't say it's an unsolvable problem, but like he said when he talked on that Netflix special, it's really, 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 really hard to solve.
Brosif says, not even giving them a chance. Come on, Eric. No, they absolutely have a chance. Like we've said, this team has a chance against anybody the way they play, but you have to call a spade a spade. Yeah. This is the hardest team in the NBA to play against. This is one of the hardest teams of all time to play against. And you're down Devin Booker and Jalen Green, but they certainly have a chance. I mean, they're one of the few teams that have played them to single digits this year. Only 8 times has that happened, and they have the second closest margin of defeat by 4 points. So this is a team that can get in the mud and get down and dirty with OKC, which they do a great job at. But again, you have to just recognize reality and say this team has lost once this season. It was by 2 points on the road to the Trailblazers. It's going to be an uphill battle.
What do you do though defensively? You said they have to play almost a perfect game. Do you think that they have to like press when it comes to
I think that's
SGA?
where they've really thrived. I mean, we brought up the defensive stats on yesterday's show about pickup points and obviously deflections and whatnot. I think the biggest key is what Steven said at the end of his keys, which is don't foul. So I'm looking at this percentile thing where Shea is in the 95-plus percentile for everything, and there are some Suns players here that I think it's kind of key to look at tonight. 92nd percentile in defense, Oso Ighodaro. 91st percentile in defense, Ryan Dunn. I think it's big for those two to be able to contribute offensively and stay out of foul trouble so that they can stay on the floor tonight, especially against this OKC team, especially Oso, because we know Mark can only play 30 minutes. Mark is in the 90th percentile in scoring and defense at his position, 91st percentile in scoring, 94th percentile in defense. The only other Sun on this list is Devin Booker, 97th percentile in playmaking. But you have 3 guys in the 90-plus percentile in defense. All 3 of those dudes need to stay on the floor. Mark Williams obviously will. He doesn't get into foul trouble, but the other 2 can pick up quick fouls or not give you a lot offensively, which I think against this OKC team, that is going to be big for those 2 guys to not miss in the spots that they missed, at least Ryan did against Minnesota earlier this week.
My thing for just being sharp on the ball, we talked about Oklahoma City. I think they're 9th in drives per 100 possessions in the league right now, and they're like 6th or 5th in terms of points per 100 possessions from drives. Containing the basketball is as important as anything because it allows for you to play to scheme. There's no scheme for blow-bys because everybody's in scramble mode at that point. So to that point, the Thunder had, I think, their 4th fewest drives in an entire game. Last time out against the Suns, they only had 47, and they scored about 50 points from those, which is about middle of the pack for what they're used to in terms of average. The Suns did a really good job of containing the ball last time. You have to replicate that. And I think the hard part about Oklahoma City is you can do it for 1 quarter, quarter and a half, 2.5, 3.5. But that test of attrition, can you do it for a full 48 and do so, to Eric's point, to what I mentioned as well, without fouling? You also have to be very in your approach. We saw some 2-3 last time out. Was not pretty. Quick timeout. That was done for after that. They got a quick bucket off of that. Cross-matching, though. I feel like we only saw a few possessions in the fourth quarter where I think Oso Ighodaro was on Lou Dort, and then they put one of their wings on Jalen Williams, big Jalen Williams, because he was shooting threes, and then they took that off the board. It felt like a reaction because it happened so late. If you can be ahead of the curve and dictate to them instead of reacting, you're in a good spot. And then the last one, double teams with Shea. You don't want to just go to it right away, but if you can pull them into the late shot clock and then send one to break up his rhythm, that's where they'll be on schedule.
Yeah, I got my eye on how many late shot clock possessions they have because we talk about dragging it down against them, and like you need in this game to probably be under 116, 115 to have that puncher's chance that we talk about. And you mentioned big Jalen Williams as well. Came off the bench and went 3-6 from 3 last game. And that's something we talked about with Mark Williams coming out and closing out on bigs like that. I think Chet hit a couple threes that game as well. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see how their bigs shoot because that was a big difference in the last matchup.
To that point, yes. Jay Will hit pull up midi too.
He did.
We all threw our hands on like, all right, man. That was in like the early fourth quarter. It's like, all right, man, you got it. But similarly to what we talked about with Jay Williams, you can also see them doing the same with Chet Holmgren. Take away some of the things he likes to do about cross matching. Put Mark Williams on Lou Dort and kind of work things out from there, make him be a screener and all of that.
Besides Shea, let's go down the line. Who's the other Thunder player that I would say you're most worried about or more keyed in on, and the Suns need to find a way to neutralize this player to take home a win tonight? Steven?
I know the obvious answer feels like J-Dub, but I feel like it's Chet because if you can neutralize his scoring impact and his general impact on the game, and also kind of exploit him on the defensive end of the floor, they don't have another piece that's going to be able to stay above average in terms of level of play. If they're playing more Jalen Williams, because Chet isn't up to par, or if he's in foul trouble, even more. So you're in a really good spot for Mark Williams to be flat out the best big on the floor, and that's where more of his impact will be felt over the game.
Yeah, I'm there on Chet. I think Caruso, too, is a guy that if you let him get going, it could hurt you even if you're containing other guys. So Chet's my main one, but Caruso's on my list.
Yeah, to not say what you guys are going to say because Chet was on my head as well, I'll go Lou Dort. Because I think what we're saying, you're going to play them a certain way defensively, and if Lou Dort doesn't get going, that means that your scheme is working. That means if you're shadowing or cross-matching and forcing Lou Dort to shoot some threes and doesn't have it going, he got going really early last game. I think he had 7 points and 5 came in the first 90 seconds. Yeah. So he was a momentum guy for them last game. So it just feels like if you just kind of keep Lou Dort out of the game, and especially offensively, then that'll be a good.
Yeah, we thought he was on par for like 40. The rate he started.
See, I thought I was going to be different by saying Lou Dort. I mean, look, it's the others for OKC, right? That's why they're so dominant. AJ Mitchell is a guy that can come out of nowhere. We've talked just about Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams, a couple of minutes ago. But the other Jalen Williams, the all-NBA Jalen Williams, you're going to be seeing a better version of him tonight. The last time you played him, it was his first game back in his first game of the season. Mm-hmm. He settled in a little bit more. And obviously, look, this is a team that made it to the finals of the NBA Cup last year. They lost. They're clearly motivated this year after winning the finals last year. They not only want to set a regular season record, but they probably want to claim the cup as well. So you're not going to catch them sleeping at all. It's just not how Dagnall teams run. It's going to be an uphill battle, but it's also an uphill battle for two of us when it comes to our pregame picks. Let's go ahead and get into them. Presented by our friends over at Bet365. Sign up, use code PHNX365, deposit 10, place a bet for 5, get $150 in bonus bets. If your bet wins or loses, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 plus and physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, text NEXT-STEP to 53342, or visit problemgambling.az.gov. Let's take a look at the standings. All right, that's enough of the standings.
Holy shit, that looks bad.
Minus 170 for Espo, minus 57.75 for me, plus 32 for Ayrton, plus 169.50.
Nice.
The red and green trade-off look like Espo's pajamas.
It's color coordinated to be losing. The thing is, though, quiet as it's kept, Ayrton and Gil have been on a little bit of a losing streak here. It's just obviously Espo and I are worse. But let's break that. Elfspo, what are you making in Santa's factory tonight? It's going to bring home gifts for Christmas.
We've been cooking up like we Heisenberg, all right?
Ooh, boy.
Grayson Allen.
I might be off of what Heisenberg was cooking.
10 plus quarter 1 points.
Yo.
Grayson Allen, 6 plus 3-pointers made. And Dylan Brooks over 25.5 PRA. Plus a 50% boost, plus 1,800. I'm winning after this. Not really. I'm back to 0, I think.
If Grayson gets 10 plus points and knocks down 6 or more threes in tonight's game, the Suns are winning.
It's definitely possible.
They're on their way to Vegas.
He's definitely due for a breakout game. It's been a rough stretch for him since he's been back from injury. I'd say I'm rooting for you, Espo. Obviously, I'm rooting for all the Suns, but I'm not. I want 5 3-pointers made from Grayson Allen.
I'm rooting for all of you. I want all of you to win. What?
I mean, that's the Christmas spirit.
I already have my trophy, so you guys deserve
then me too. Then I guess we don't care. Let's get out of here.
But guess what? We didn't get a banner either.
No, we didn't get a banner, but didn't throw a fit about it either. Let's go ahead and take a look. Let's go take a look.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
Exactly. As well. Mine plain, simple, to the point. Phoenix Suns money line. How about that, Brosif?
Bang.
For Believe in a plus 650. Not only is Grayson due, the Thunder are due for a loss. Great odds on the money line tonight. Bang. Let's take it. What about you, Gil? What are you putting your money on?
All right, took the over. No spoilers yet, but 3 of the 4 of us have the game going on the over. Last time was 123 to 119. That's 242. So there you go. Shea 30 plus points just feels like a given. He wakes up and gets 30 regardless. So which is crazy to say now that I said it out loud. 30 points in the best basketball league in the world, but whatever. Colin Gillespie, 12.5 points. I think he's going to have a good game. And then Mark Williams, I think he'll be another key guy riding that momentum that he built on Monday. So let's see how it goes. Plus 600, plus the 50% boost.
I like that. Ayrton, what are you putting your money on tonight?
Got Phoenix Suns for the spread at 14.5. Mark Williams over 19.5 points and rebounds. Colin Gillespie, a measly 10 plus points. And then looking to get connected tonight, Oso Ighodaro over 9.5 PRA plus 575, of course, with 30% profit boost.
Boom.
I've got a negative money here that Gil slides out of this chair at some point with those silk jammies on.
I mean, that might be the one bet that you do hit tonight. We'll get to our score predictions here in a second, but any final thoughts on the NBA Cup knockout round? The first game in the West, winner plays on Saturday against the winner of the Spurs-Lakers game later tonight. Final keys, final thoughts on an uphill battle against the dominant Thunder.
Year 3 of the Cup, this is fun. Knock down threes and guard the 3-point line, and you'll have a chance.
Approach it like you've approached everything this year. People don't believe in you. It's a 15.5 spread. Like, go out there and just play free.
I would like to see somebody off the bench step up and put some points on the board or be accountable for some points that are scored because of some kind of game-wrecking active type of active types of defense. So whether you're getting steals or you're forcing deflections that lead to steals, that lead to points, somebody off that bench, and maybe 2 of those guys are going to need to step up in that fashion tonight.
To that fashion, not on the bench, Royce O'Neal. And I think everybody knows what I'm going to say if I say the name Royce O'Neal. In all of these shorthanded games, there's a theme when the Suns win and when they lose. And a lot of times you can look at what does his box score look like as to what the result of the game is. Hit some threes, play as good a defense as you can play, and maybe just rebound the ball like you've been able to do as well. I've enjoyed the really good games from Royce, but when he's down and your other 2 offensive creators are down, it puts this team in a really tough spot. So big game from everybody tonight. Grayson, Colin, Ryan, Oso, Dylan. But I think Royce is the one that we've seen fluctuate the most from the highs and the lows. You can't have a low from Royce O'Neal tonight and win this basketball game.
No, you can't. But don't overlook Bouye because
yes, sir.
I mean the cup means definitely more for a 2-way guy. That's $100K that you get if you wind up in Vegas on Saturday.
Now they do get $50K if they lose. Everybody who makes it to this stage is $50, $100K if you win this game minimum plus more. We'll be talking more about the game, reacting to the game, breaking it down. All 4 of us on the PHNX Suns watch along. We're wearing pajamas on the watch along because you all raise money for Big Brothers Big Sisters of America. So make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button on the way out. Become a member like Kaylee, like Ashley, like Kev, like Freckled Mamba, like Math to the Power of Joe, like everybody in the chat to get access to our exclusive NBA Cup emojis, plus Phoenix Suns emojis, and much more as a member. We'll see you all in another stream. It is the watch along, and then back for the post-game show. In the meantime, follow the show at PHNX_Suns for live updates and tweets during the game, and we'll talk to you in just a couple of minutes.
We all silly like the mayor.